Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Andre Rollins rips into the government over the Rubis leak controversy. This, as the Environment Minister calls it, a teachable experience. Urban Renewal co-chairs will not be summoned to appear before the PAC. Plus, there's a new pot cake in town. We've got those stories and a whole lot more tonight. I'm Wanting Toot, and NV12 starts now. Tonight, the Progressive Liberal Party's new generation of leaders is being destroyed, according to Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins, who put two of his colleagues on blast today, following the revelation that government waited more than a year to release findings of a Rubis fuel leak report. Rollins said both Environment Minister Ken Dorset and Marathon MP Jerome Fitzgerald should be ashamed for putting their political loyalty ahead of the people who elected them. He said Fitzgerald seems to have totally different beliefs now that he sits at the cabinet table. Kyle Joaquin reports.
Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins has blasted the government over numerous issues in the past, but today he spoke with NB12 in defense of the residents of Marathon. He said he was disappointed in the way the government has handled the Rubis gas spill ordeal. He said it seemed as though some PLP MPs have allowed party politics to get the best of them.
I've recruited a new generation of PLP leaders. Together we've written new blueprints to create jobs and combat crime.
But that new generation of leaders is being cut down and destroyed, according to Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins. He says the way both Environment Minister Ken Dorset and Marathon MP Jerome Fitzgerald have been handling the Rubis gas leak ordeal is causing them to be discredited and will force Bahamians to no longer have confidence in any of them.
How could you say that the country would be better off having new generation of leaders, younger leaders take the helm, when you've had an opportunity to fight for the people? And you squandered that opportunity because you've, as far as the public is concerned, you've put your position as a cabinet minister above and beyond the interests of the people.
It took government over a year to release the findings of that Black and Veatch report, which showed that residents near the Robinson Road service station may have been exposed to harmful chemicals in their groundwater and in the air. The government, according to Best Commission Director Philip Weech, made that decision based on advice from the Attorney General. Well, Rollins today blasted both Dorset and Fitzgerald, questioning how they could know about this for over a year and not say anything, at least to the possibly affected constituents of Marathon.
If I sat around the cabinet table and I had sight of the contents of that report, understanding the implications for public health, specifically with respect to the people of Marathon and more broadly the people of this country, there's absolutely no way I could continue to sit around that cabinet table if I were threatened with being removed if I dared to speak about it publicly. There's no way that I would have the stomach to continue to sit around that cabinet table.
Rollins says a full investigation at the parliamentary level is in order on the Rubis gas leak. The Fort Charlotte MP says what he finds amusing is that government finds certain pieces of legislation more important to rush through Parliament than those which can actually protect the Bahamian people.
We don't have any environmental protection legislation to speak of. Why? We could have come in here and rushed to do stem cell legislation. But we say we live in one of the most pristine places on God's green earth, and we lack environmental protection legislation. Where is that Minister of the Environment?
But Rollins wasn't done yet. He brought up Fitzgerald's fight to save Saunders Beach while in opposition.
I'm dumbfounded. I refuse to believe that Jerome Fitzgerald, an environmental activist and as a member of the opposition, has no longer the environmental bona fides as a member of the cabinet. He has to still be as much of an environmental champion as a member of the cabinet today as he was when he was a member of the opposition.
Rollins says from the lack of information coming to the public, there is no way to determine if it is even safe for those residents to use their water as yet.
Well, in a public notice today, the management of Rubis, Bahamas says the information published by the media is inaccurate and that the company has taken all necessary and possible actions to remediate those affected areas. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Amid criticism, Environment Minister Ken Dorsett defended government's handling of the Rubis matter today, adding the controversy should serve as a teachable moment. Simone Davis takes it from here.
Dorsett said while he is satisfied with remediation efforts since the Rubis fuel leak more than 2 years ago, he acknowledges that there should have been better communication with those affected. An independent report by Black & Veatch revealed that residents and those working in buildings near Rubis's Robinson Road station were exposed to harmful chemicals. When asked if he feels his ministry should have released the Rubis report to the public sooner, Dorsett said this.
At the end of the day, the report was disclosed when it was authorized to be put in the public domain. The most important thing is for people to understand that the environmental remediation associated with the activity was done in accordance with international best practices. We brought Black & Veatch in to ensure that that was done. They issued their report with respect to those works, and all the recommendations that they advanced last year were immediately, once reviewed, put into action.
Dorsett called this a teachable moment for the government.
But I certainly think that it also was a teachable moment for us because while we certainly in my ministry, many of the residents came to me to speak with me one-on-one, and there were discussions. And while I was advised that there was communication on the ground by those who were obviously conducting all of the test wells and all the rest of it, some of the residents indicated that there wasn't either sufficient discussion or no discussion.
Since the report was revealed to the public, members of the Free National Movement have called on the government to apologize to residents in the Marathon community for withholding information. FNM Senator Kwesi Thompson also called for Dorsett's resignation. This was his response.
I have no thought about it whatsoever. Thank you.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
And noted physician and former deputy chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, said government's decision to withhold the Black & Veatch report was a mistake, and he can't understand how government could have handled it so poorly. Dana Smith has that angle.
It's bewildering as to how anybody could know this information and not feel it was reasonable to inform people whose lives and health were being affected by the spill. There is no way that you could put this in a moral framework or an ethical framework that this can be understood by Bahamians.
Government has come under heavy criticism after it was revealed the report into the spill was handed over in February 2014, but was not released until just last week. Sands said it's difficult to understand why officials would not release it immediately given its nature. The report concluded residents who live and work near Rubis were exposed to chemicals that could create health risk.
Health officials have confirmed Marathon residents will be screened for health problems that could have been caused by the spill. But Sands said it's too little, too late.
I think it is too little, too late, and I think it is purely as a result of the backlash.
Although the report made no conclusive links between illness and the exposure, Marathon residents have expressed concern the spill might have an adverse impact on their health. Chief Medical Officer Dr. DeLon Brennan said the ministry is planning to go into the community and will, quote, find out what we need to do for residents who are having symptoms or may not be having symptoms. Sands said the entire matter has been badly mishandled and the unfortunate cover-up of the report has led to hysteria. He said the public's concerns should be allayed with information, education, and honest public disclosure from the government on the issue. Sands added the Prime Minister needs to step in on the issue and apologize.
Because this covers so many different agencies of government, so many ministries, that this once again falls into the lap of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, who ought to take charge of this, understand that there's a duty now to give a report to the Bahamian people to apologize for what has happened and to provide the types of assurances that, yes, the cow has already left the barn, but that this country cares about its citizens to the point that it will do the right thing.
Sand said this is not the first time there's been a spill, and it probably won't be the last. But the country should learn from this, and the people should always be put first. From the Hawkins Hill Medical Plaza for NB12, I'm Dana Smith.
In other news, Urban Renewal co-chair Cynthia Pratt and Algernon Allen will not be summoned to appear before the Public Accounts Committee. However, House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major said he will send them a letter inviting them to do so.
Upon reflection, I thought the best course of action would be not to issue a summons at this time, but to rather offer another invitation to the co-chairs, and I believe the response would be a bit different.
PAC members want to question the pair about a scathing Auditor General's report on government small home repairs program, which highlighted a lack of accountability and transparency in the program's management and execution. The two Urban Renewal co-chairs refused to appear before that committee last week, citing prior engagements and the illegality of the committee's process. Pratt and Allen dismissed the Auditor General's report as ignorant and ill-informed. Major called it unfortunate that the audit was leaked to the public and said he would have preferred if the co-chairs had met with the Auditor General before the document was finalized. However, he said the response from them was out of character.
I thought also that the time period between the invitation and the request for appearance was a bit on the short side, which was 2 days, and then the response of the co-chairs I thought was a bit out of character for both. I thought that it didn't lend to the whole intent of what the Public Accounts Committee is trying to achieve, because it is not a witch hunt.
When NB12 returns, another man murdered in New Providence. Plus, meet Bingo the Pot Cake. So stay tuned.